is there a chance we've seen the last of Lamar as a Raven?
Unfortunately, yeah. And it's an absolute bummer, by the way, if Lamar can't play this weekend. Last year, when I coined better than a bye, that was really just a pithy phrase of Chiefs arrogance, not what this weekend is supposed to be. But if it's Skylar Thompson against the Bills and Anthony Brown against the Bengals, both those teams got better than a bye on deck, and that's a shame. Because the Ravens' defense has given Burrow more trouble than any defense in football this year, played him close, and I think it would have been a hell of a game with Lamar playing. But if he's not going to play, does anybody think anything has happened this year that is going to make the Ravens say, okay, we were hesitant on giving you the fully guaranteed deal, but now we will? No.
Well, their recent performance.
They've been horrendous without him.
I understand that, but they were horrendous without him last year. Last year, they lost all their games without him. This year, they went 3-3 at the end of it without him. I don't think they're going to give him the fully guaranteed deal. And if you're not going to do that, you should trade him. You should flatly move on from him. Because how can you?
I don't agree. I don't agree because you trade him and get who? Who comes in there and gives you a better chance?
Listen, I've got some fake trades for you guys coming up, but that's
Pandora's box.
No, I don't think we've seen the last out of Lamar Jackson. Look, they know who he is. They know what he provides to this organization. I've gone at length into this when it comes to who he is off the field and on the field to the organization. But more importantly, how can you replace someone like that without retooling what you do offensively? Like, your identity has been Lamar Jackson offensively when you talk about the Baltimore Ravens.
Until November when he's not there.
No. Him not being here, this is the first time I feel like Lamar Jackson is actually doing something for Lamar Jackson versus for the Baltimore Ravens. He has always been so loyal to a fault at times to where it's always been about the Ravens. It's how can I help them? How can I get on the field for them? How can I provide whatever they need me to do for them so I can secure who I am to them and the value that I bring? Look, you signed Roquan Smith. I think that's an actual positive thing because they're not trying to rebuild. This is not a franchise that rebuilds. They might retool, but to say you're going to bring in a guy to replace Lamar Jackson and improve, I don't see that.
But my point, Brew, is that if their plan is just to franchise tag him, how can they feel at all comfortable that what happened last year and what's happening this year isn't going to happen for a third straight year? Because if they franchise tag him, we are all a year from now if he's banged up. It's the exact same logic. It's, he has no guaranteed money. He has to protect himself.
But look, first of all, we don't know if he's sitting out because he doesn't have the guaranteed contract and he really could play, or if the knee is really bothering him. The reports now from Rappaport and Trotter are that the knee is just not ready. Okay, so what I'm going to say is this. In 27 years as a franchise, he is their first elite quarterback. I know they've won Super Bowls with Dilfer and Flacco. He's the first elite. 30 years. You don't just give that up. And if they give him up, then they're starting over. They are rebuilding if they give him up. And here's the thing. Why give him up when you don't have to? They don't have to give him a 5-year, $250 million guaranteed contract to keep him. They can just franchise him. And Lamar is a gamer. Just the same, which I didn't necessarily agree with. But he played at the beginning of this season because he's just like, I just want to play football. I think he'd do the same thing on the franchise.
I don't think that's entirely the apples to apples, though. He played this year because holding out when you're still under contract is incredibly punitive to you. Refusing to sign a franchise is not punitive at all. There is nothing they can do.
You might not play.
You might not play and you might end up going to hit free agency. But if you hold out if he would have not shown up this year, his contract can toll. A lot of things can happen that are very different than not signing the franchise tag. Go ahead, Wildes.
Oh no, my question was to Brew. When you talked about the Ravens' success in the past, that Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl and Flacco won the Super Bowl, but Lamar is obviously better than those guys. If you're the organization, doesn't that work counter to Lamar? Where it's like,
we don't need a great quarterback.
We've already got 2 Super Bowl trophies here with quarterbacks who were less than elite.
It's difficult to do, though.
It's very difficult.
They did it twice.
they had great defenses.
Yep.
I mean,
You gotta build that
absolute
defense.
elite defenses.
Which, by the way,
all-time great defense.
it sounds like when you give Roquan Smith $100 million and you draft a safety in the first round and you don't spend any money on wide receivers, you're trying to build that model again. Here's the thing. So let's say that all the reporting is correct and that this has zero to do with his contract. That is still not great for Lamar. Because that just means 2 straight years he has suffered season-ending injuries in late November.
So why not lock him up for 1 year?
Because
it's 1 year. It's no risk for the team.
Because I don't know that locks him up. First of all, I think the reporting around this has been fuzzy. It's a lot of people I respect, and I know Lamar is hurt. But I think a lot of people are doing some type of intellectual gymnastics saying, without a shadow of a doubt, this has nothing to do with the fact that he has zero guaranteed dollars. It would be irresponsible for him for that to not play at least a small factor in it. And so, but you guys are saying you got to can I just show you guys some fake trades, please?
Sure, we know this has been a week in the making, everybody.
Okay.
He's been
dying to do this.
Number 4 pick, number 35 pick, and a first rounder. You might be able to get your quarterback that number 4 pick. If not, you can enter. There's a lot of free agent quarterbacks available. That's a trade that potentially makes sense. Next one, please, from the Seattle. Number 5 pick, number 37 pick, and a first rounder. The next one, the Raiders. The number 7 pick, the number 38 pick, a first and a second. And lastly, from the Jets. Number 13, number 43, and 2 first rounders.
That's a lot.
Well, the reason it's 2 first rounders there is because you don't have top 5 pick like the other teams. Top 5 pick, you might be able to get your quarterback. And the last one, Greg, and I know you're intrigued in this one. No picks, no nothing, 1 for 1. The Bears have nothing but money, need to spend it. You want to talk about a team that hasn't. You said the Ravens haven't had a franchise quarterback in 27 years.
Yeah.
Bears haven't had franchise quarterbacks since Sid Luckman. Everybody says they've never had one. Put some respect on Sid Luckman's name.
Facts.
But Justin Fields plays same style. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay him.
Nick, here's the thing, because I'm not as down on the franchising him as you are. The franchise tag, if he'll play on it, and I think he will, if he gets hurt again, then you can say, you know what, 3 years in a row, his style of play or whatever you want to blame it on, he's not going to last.
And then you get nothing
you can trade
for
him or let him go.
Okay, but if he gets hurt again next year, those offers are not there. His value is not increasing, guys. After the first 3 weeks this year, he didn't play great. It's the second straight year he's been hurt.
Okay. If they ask Lamar Jackson, do you want to be here? Do you still want to be our franchise player? And he says yes. You think they trade him?
I think that he says yes. And do you want me to be here? And they say yes. He says, okay, great. So funny. I have an idea. Sign me to this contract. And it ties us together. He wants the fully guaranteed deal. I don't think the Ravens, by the way, again, I like Lamar. Like everybody, it's mandatory you say it. I like Lamar. But I wouldn't give him 5 years fully guaranteed. I'd be nervous about that. I'm not.
That's why you have the franchise. It keeps coming back to
but
that.
He is not guaranteed to play.
Correct.
He is the franchise tag is.
Let him reject it first.
Okay.
Let him reject it first.
Okay.
Brewer, you surprised Pete is hyping the 49ers so much?
Well, I have 2 explanations.
Okay, that's right.
One, this is psychological warfare. This is reverse psychology he's trying to play.
Like it?
He's trying to get the 49ers overconfident. They already should be confident, obviously. They're the heavy favorite, and they should be. But he's looking at it, they got a rookie quarterback who is still a rookie. Like, a lot of times we say, well, he's gone through a full season. He's no longer a rookie. He's played 6 games. He's still a rookie. And then Christian McCaffrey, obviously a vet, but only played in 1 playoff game. Maybe he's thinking, maybe those guys will get a little overconfident, take us lightly, and then we can do something. The second thing is he's playing with house money. Pete Carroll's already won. He knows it. Nobody expected him to make the playoffs, right? Russell Wilson was terrible this year, and he resurrected Geno Smith. So, true. He's playing with house money, and he knows it. So he's either just being honest, like, hey, I've already won, so whatever. They're going to stomp us, or it's reverse psychology.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's too smart to not have a motive about what he's saying. Look, and there's no way he's saying all of this and not going back in his own locker room and making sure he's letting his guys know, look, nobody's giving us a chance. let's praise them. Everybody's praising them. I'm praising them. Look, guys, we got an opportunity to do something that nobody believes in us. It's what every coach does when they know they're going to have to take their show on the road to get to wherever they deem themselves possible to get to as far as Super Bowl.
Greg, who do you have in this game?
The Niners.
Yeah.
There's no other answer.
The Niners are going. What, Wildes?
Well, I've got two full screens for you.
Oh, let me see them.
I told you I don't like this. When everybody's against the underdog, I go the other way. First of all, here's Pete Carroll's history against Shanahan. Pretty good. This year, not so good. But guess what? 0-2. All right. Third time you have to play a team. Remember when the Rams had to go and play the 49ers? Oh, guess what? Rams got over on them. How about when Tom Brady couldn't beat the Saints once, couldn't beat them twice? Third time, a little bit of magic. Just saying, think it's going to be hard to beat Pete Carroll 3 times in a row with a rookie quarterback.
This would be
It's an early upset alert.
This would be. I said it yesterday when you were flirting with it. You're now asking it to, more than flirting. You're asking it to go to dinner and drinks.
I just want you to remember what he's saying,
Committed.
though, because tomorrow. Tomorrow.
No,
he's
Friday. It's not
Friday.
Tomorrow's
Friday. It's okay.
Published.
He's gonna make sure he reemphasizes what upset alert is. You're saying right here that they're gonna outright beat them.
I'm not. Well, first of all,
This is what your graphics and everything is saying.
what I'm not going to do is ruin the segment on Friday. I'm telling people to tune in for the upset alert. But there is a lot of upset alert vibes around this game. You're going to beat Pete Carroll 3 times in a row?
Don't come on here and say
Okay.
it's going to be a tough game. Much tougher than
your
people
thing.
think. It was my thing when I was easing my way into the show. But once I felt comfortable, it was like, all right, let's do this. You're going the other way.
I'm not. Did I call an outright win last week?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
We did
the
last
Lions
week.
to beat the Packers.
Yes, you did.
Friday, tune in, 4 o'clock. Is Nick worried about the Prince who has promised? Next.
Also, Brew, you've been on the show for like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean easy?
Longer than that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.